Peace be upon you. Today I want to talk about the concept of paying someone to be your imam, your religious leader, or just generally trying to incentivize people for a religious sacred act. So to give some context, there's a group of hypocrites who have descended deeper into the pits of hell by saying that you can pay someone to be your leader. And this stems from, if you've seen our earlier videos, where they want to say that the faith of the imam doesn't matter. So if you're a Muslim, let's say, the faith of your imam doesn't matter. He could be a rabbi, a Jew, a Christian, an atheist, agnostic, whatever. So we addressed that in previous videos, but this video is specifically about payment. So they're saying that you can pay someone, anyone, regardless of their belief, to be your imams. And we'll get into more of their seeded tactics to justify this. But let's get into some of the refutation points. So God says in 241, do not trade away my revelations for a cheap price. So already God is condemning this idea of a trade for God's revelations, God's wahy, for some financial material gains. So that's already one condemnation against that. But also identifies quite frequently in the Quran where the imams, the messengers, the rasuls, they would never ask for a wage. I think 26, 105, and several other instances, God willing, I'll list them out here. I do not ask you for a wage. My wage comes only from the Lord of the universe. So the idea is that the messengers, they come to you to preach tawheed, right? Worship God alone. La ilaha illallah. And if they came to you and said, look, I have this profound miracle, my camel only drinks on a Tuesday, or I can part the sea, or I can give you manna and quail, give me some money, then it kind of reduces the quality of the delivery of the message. In fact, it puts doubt into the intent of this person. Is he here to make money, or is he here to really represent God? Because God isn't desperate. Money is literally nothing to God, right? God has infinite bounds in his record. He can just generate gold at will. He can make gazillion planets made of gold. So money is nothing to God. So what this tells you is that the messengers come to you, they're independently wealthy, and they never ask for a wage. So it'd be far worse. Instead of asking for a wage, they're then paying you. Like, hey, come into the truth, right? La ilaha illallah, you Mr. Christian, whatever. Here's 50 dinars. No, that's duplicity. That's like literally the act of someone who has doubt in their heart. And God addresses this duplicity in 2:8. God says there are those who say they believe, but in their hearts are full of doubt. These are the worst kind of people. So God continues in 9:54, saying that what prevented God from accepting the spending of the people is that they disbelieved in God and his messenger. When they attend the prayer, the word there is yatuna salah, when they attend the prayer, they're not even iqama salah, they're not even establishing the prayer, they're just attending the prayer. Yatuna salah, they do so lazily, illa kusala. So what is this telling you? This is telling you that God doesn't accept the spending. Let's say you're very rich and you're spending 1,000 here, 10,000 there, whatever. It's nothing to you. God isn't accepting that from you if you don't believe in God. So why would he accept something from a hypocrite who's trying to purport this position that you can pay people to basically manipulate and exploit them to be your religious leaders? And then they extend this argument, and this is called false equivalence. They'll say, instead of paying someone to be my imam, right? Let's change the scenario. Instead of doing that, can I pay someone to read the Quran? Let's say someone has a beautiful voice and you want to hear from him. If you heard any of the Arabic verses, you would have heard from Mishari, for example, right? So someone has a beautiful voice. I want to pay him to read the Quran. Now, is this a sin? Or is this a transaction? Now, if this isn't a sin, paying someone to read the Quran, why would it be a sin for me to pay someone to do a God alone salat? This is their favorite term. As long as they do a God alone salat, whatever they believe is immaterial. It won't affect my deeds. It only affects their deeds. That's not true. God identifies directly that your deeds are tied to your association. 5:2 and 485, God says, do not mediate nor facilitate or cooperate in matters of unrighteousness. You'll get a share of every bad thing that you're part of. So then in 953, it says, spend willingly or unwillingly. Nothing will be accepted from you, for you are evil people. So this is the kind of evil that the hypocrites purport and present. And ultimately, their foundation is rooted in deceit. Their belief is a prop. They're trying to profess belief, but in their hearts, truly, they harbor deep, deep doubts. This is why Surah Munafiq 63:1, I believe, the hypocrites come to the Prophet and they say, we bear witness that you are a messenger of God. God bears witness that they are lies. Why? Because they didn't witness this event. God is bearing witness to these people that they are hypocrites because they add laws into this Quran, right? They reverse the scenario. They say, find me a verse in the Quran that says, I can't pay someone to be my imam. As if God is going to say, you shall not pay someone to be your imam. No, God gives you global guidelines and you must follow using reason and inferences in the verses. I don't know which way the video is going to come out, but my other video talks about homosexuality. And ultimately, it's about finding the path, the truth, and desisting in your own failures, in your own weaknesses. And God will not guide you until and unless you choose to be guided. In 2:6, these are the kafiruns. So if you want to worship Jesus, if you want to pay an empty shell of a husk or a robot to lead your prayer, then you have chosen to side with Satan. This is incontrovertibly true. The messengers would never authorize this, would never do this. They never asked for a wage, let alone start giving people money to believe in God. That's nonsensical. That's desecration of the religion. It is absurd. It is so forbidden. So whether you spend willingly or unwillingly, he will not be accepted because you are evil people. You're trying to pay people to commit an act that should be done willingly, should be done as a matter of belief and piety. Belief precedes your actions. And in 5:6, and in all verses that addresses the ritual rites of the religion, it says, Ya ayyuhalladina amanu, O you who believe. إذا كنتم إلى الصلاة, when you establish the prayer, فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ, wash your face. And it gives you the steps of the wudu. So if this paid atheist crack addict down the road, or someone that works in Home Depot to be your imam, doesn't believe in God, much less are they required to do the wudu. Would you pray behind someone who has not done the wudu? Is their prayer valid? Is your prayer valid? Is it righteous to pay someone to do the wudu? The answer is no, it is not. It says, Ya ayyuhalladhina aman, every single time, for every single one of the rites of the religion. That's the salat, that's the zakat, that's the siyam, and that's the hajj. The prayer, the zakat, the obligatory charity, the fasting, and your pilgrimage, all of which is preceded by Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. So it is without a doubt that you cannot pay someone to be your imam. And paying someone to read the Quran is inconsequential. Where is the lie in that? I haven't participated in any lie. If I pay someone to be my imam, I've participated in a lie, because when that guy says, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, he is lying. He doesn't believe in God. Right? If an atheist is doing that, he is lying, and you've just paid for a lie. Congratulations, you dug a deeper hole into hell than you were in before. So you cannot participate in a lie. If I pay someone to read the Quran, right, and I take that audio, this is trade, commerce. We're allowed to do that. We have to live in a society where we function together. 262, all submitters of all sects or religions, I suppose, whether it's Jewish, Christians, converts, submitters, we have to work together. If you submit to the will of God, then we can work together. So my payment isn't about trying to convince you, manipulate you to believe in God and lead you towards piety. No. If I'm paying you for this act, I'm already seeded in manipulation. And if someone pays for religion, your teaching is that religion pays. That's not true. Religion does pay, but only as a sincere mutahhareen, someone that would be willing to act with that idea in mind. And God says in 2:124 that he only appoints the righteous as the imam. God is saying, I made you an imam for the people. And he said, also my descendants? No, my covenant does not extend to the transgressors. And these are the transgressors. These are vile, horrible creatures. Avoid them at all costs. They will drag you to hell. Peace.